Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm just sharing the link on my Twitter. Just give me a few moments. I am on posted on Twitter. Let's start from here. Okay, so I'm all set. Yes, stop sharing and share the screen. Okay. Let me just chat. Hi Gopal, hi Sandeep, hi Mihir, hi Sebastian, hi Manny, good morning, hi Special, good morning. Let me just get started here because time is of essence and I have my office starting in few minutes. So I'll be quick. Let me just check if we have any uh, calendar event. Scan from inside days. Yesterday, it's hardly anything. Yesterday, market broke 45.52, 45.20, and it came all the way to 44.58. There was no stopping here. We lost the retracement channel. Now, the important support comes around 43.82. But in the past, if you see here, this area has acted as a support and resistance. It was inverted head and shoulders. So this was a breakout of the inverted head and shoulders. So this is the last most important area for bulls. If they cannot handle it, it's the game over for bulls. We do not have any support for here or here. And then we have gaps around 4,000. So as I said, from 4668, we are all the way here, almost 220 points. This is the support, and we are falling in straight line, and the selling is massive and institutional. So there is no stopping for it. For almost 5 sessions back to back, we have massive selling. So we have corrected from 48.08 to 44.58. That's about 350 points. That's about 7% in straight line, which is pushing the market into a bear territory. This is much more evident in case of IWM and in case of NASDAQ, but ES is managed by two big stocks, Apple and Microsoft. Once they start to lose, you will see some substantial downside on the index. But as I said, this area is the final area where bulls can come and rescue. Otherwise, it's done game. Now, second thing, today is expiry for the month. And with all this massive downward movement, we may see some level of consolidation before it makes a final decision. Okay, so I'm not going to be very heavy on the position. Like yesterday, I was out as soon as I hit 45, 87, 88, and I was out. I did not even look into the market back again, and it saved me. I did miss a good amount of trades when it went below 45.20, but it's all right. I did not lose. I stick to my plan and it worked out. So let me just define levels here. Now 44.20, 44.25 is an important area. So right now below 45.20 we hit 45.58, 43.82. So all this was there yesterday. Now the trend is super short. It is again 50% because we have fallen enough. So if somebody has to go long, you should go long above 44.58, which is the Fibonacci level here, 44.58, and stop loss will be 44.20. So there's a 44.20 area. This is a massive area for support. So you may enter here, you ignore it, or buy near 44.20. It's a choice. On the other side, as market is totally weak, you can sell below 44.58 as well. 44, I would say 29, that's the low. If it breaks the low today, you can go ahead and sell it. Target will be 4382 and 4260. So selling can be, again, like if you have seen selling in last few days, it's very strong, and once it starts happening, it doesn't stop. So either you can buy in a range, but the first, let me make this as the first target. So it's going to be very tricky. 4458, and then 4520 is the most I'm expecting it to go, because 4520 was an important level in the past. It may try to test it, but I don't see it making any more move outside of it. It seriously needs some strength. If it regains 4520, you might have some trade on it. Otherwise, 4520 fails, you will come back nasty. So I'm not doing anything as of now. I'm still sitting on cash. Yesterday, even like when Netflix went up to 425, I had a chance to exit, and I did exit, and I mentioned that in my chat. And after that, I did not even look into the market. That saved me. Otherwise, I was so bullish on Netflix, I would have lost almost $2,000 on it. But let's see how the market reacts. Now, I am not bullish on the market at all. I am just more, I will say 60% on short side and 40% on a relief bounce, because this is an expiry, so there is a possibility of relief bounce. The equation is a little tricky. There is an overlap. You need to sell below the today's low on futures, and you can buy it in this area with a tight stop loss here, looking for this area and this area. If we go up above 4220, then there's something else. Then there is an area where we have seen rejection on back-to-back 2 days, 4581, which is 61.8 retracement. So if we lose this, then we are following again. So I would like to jump above 4458 just to see if it retraces back with enough. Now, my other point is all the negative news in the market which was supposed to come are already out. There's nothing more negative which can come now. And Fed has not done any unwinding yet. Interest rates have not been hiked yet. Plus, Fed is still pumping $90 billion this month. So even if we have retraced, there's still a possibility that yes, some of these stocks will have some relief bounce before they find a direction. Yesterday, as I said, that in the negative sentiment, the bull spikes are strong and sharp, but they are momentarily. You may exit on any on the bull spikes. Same thing is today. If you get a bull spike towards 45.20, time to exit. If it sustains above 42.20, you can go long. If it holds below 45, 44.58, you can blindly go short and look for 43.82 because there's no support here. The regression channel comes around 43.50. So That's another level of support. So by that time, you will see some substantial hits on all these tickers. Okay. Now SPY almost came to 4400, 4444. So same thing as SPY, it's short. SPY came to this target. Now this is your stop loss, 444. And in this case, 444. I'm just making it simple. You can buy above 444, 445, and sell below 44, this area. If you sell it, this is your stop loss. In case of it, target comes around this area. Now all this gap is filled. There's one more gap which is at 442.66. If that gap is filled, then it loses the entire momentum. So I'm assuming that this 44.09 will remain as an active support. If we lose this, we have 435, 429. So let me just post it. If we lose this, we have 435, which was the previous target, and 429. 60% short. If we go up, we have 450 and 455. 450, 55 max. These are very stringent numbers. If you do not want to trade in this market, wait for 26th of January when Fed clarifies. With such a struggle with economy, with housing sector struggling, with unemployment number, I think you will see some positive response in terms of interest rates, and market will give a thumbs up based on that. So if you do not want to trade this market, do not trade it. QQQ. QQQ yesterday did both sides. Like once it went up 366, it almost tested this area where you had lower lows, lower height, and this cross on the regression channel. I have two regression channels. Guys, 1 second. So in QQQ, we have these two regression channels. One was all the way coming from COVID lows, and this one is from the tops because we are losing the trend. So I created another channel. Now, yesterday, the candle came all the way to this cross area and failed to like defy it with some substantial move. Instead, it made a lower low and a lower high in both the sides. Lost 366, and once it does, it did not had any respite. So now 358 area, you see this area on the expiry, that is 357. 357 is the final area for QQQ. If 357 does not break, because it's a crossover between the two regression channels on the long term side, both at the bottom of the channel. So this 357 is really, really important. So I am going to do a 357 as my stop loss for both long and short. If you want to go long, buy near 358, 359. If you want to go sell below 357. Target is 350. If you go below 357, this is the target. There's no stopping here. It will fall in straight line. But in case it jumps from here, the first target will be 366. And that will be the only target I'm thinking. Again, 40% on the positive, but 60% on the negative. It's all neutral. It had some good strength in the morning, so I got exit in all my positions on the morning. So now this is the clear bias on the market. There are clear numbers. I have kept 44.58 as a very specific area for going short on ES because it's a sell on rise market. If it comes around 45, 44.58, you can go and sell it. If it doesn't, then I'm on the back seat. I'm not trading much. I'll maybe pick one trade and that's it. BA, yesterday I did BA trade in the morning and I was out as soon as it lost. It came across this area, 221, and I was out. Now it lost at 12 EMA. It may come towards a 34 EMA. So I still want to buy this, but I want to buy this with 211. Again, like if you see something green on your chart or on your trading account, keep on booking. Do not look back and say, oh, I'll be making good returns if I keep on holding. This market is not for holding. It's just the real market. It's going to be very difficult to make money. So respect that. And whenever you see green, book it. I want to go above 216. Only 216 with 2 So next week it has earnings. So I'm expecting a good risk reward with respect to earnings. And there is a Fed meeting as well. So try to have positions for next week in BA because it is not going to lose the premium as quickly with respect to the earnings and Fed. So I would like to buy this above 216. Right now it's trading at 213. If it comes to 211, I would either buy it there or I would buy above 216 area. I will not touch it before that. Caterpillar, these are still two positive stocks for me. Papa and Caterpillar. It lost yesterday. I wanted to buy about 221, but it lost 220. Now it's coming to this area for testing the 34 EMA. Now I would like to keep 213.19 as my stop loss. 213.19. I want to buy above 215, which is my 23.6 Fibonacci. This should give us a good support. If it doesn't, then I'm not trading it. Again, I do not enter right away in the market. I wait maybe 10, 10, 30 in this market to see exactly what is happening with volatility. There's no point jumping onto this market without any clarity. 220 is my 12 EMA, so that will be my target. 220.56 and 225. Industrials are still better as compared to tech in the last few days. But if market is going to go down, they may be the next in line. So keep an eye with very tight stop losses. Apple has been on the losing side and it has come down. Like when we were trying to short Apple, it bounced and now it has lost all the levels. Its support is coming around 150 area because it has done all the retracement. It's also making a double M. It's called M pattern, which I usually called. An M pattern is not nice. It might find some base around 155, 156 area. So if market loses the momentum, I would love to short this. With all the negative news, but point is the market is coming in a range where it can have a possibility of bounce. So I would love to sell this if it goes higher, but we have seen a correction of almost 8-9% in Apple. 162.20 is my last area for trade on Apple on the long side. If I lose 162, I will go clear short. I'm just doing this because there's a possibility with today's expiry market may bounce. So 162 is my threshold to go short. Once it loses this 162 area, I have a target of 155. Keep that in mind. 166, 62.5 is an area for support. And because the candles are way away from the EMAs, they might try to bounce towards 167. That's it. That's the only trade I have in Apple. If it loses, or you can sell if it comes around 167. It's a choice. You want to sell around 167 or you want to buy at 162 and sell at 167. I don't see any big moves in Apple. Buy near 162.5, 163 or sell near 167.46. Amazon, as soon as it lost that 31.25 area, it did not look back. It just fell in straight line. Boom. As soon as it lost this channel, now Amazon is out of this channel. And again, this is a consolidation of almost 2 years. And this is the same setup we have in IWM. There's a consolidation, and this consolidation failed right here at 3400. Now it also lost the lowest of the levels. This area 2860 is the last area where Amazon found its ground on 3 previous occasions. Now, if it has to bounce, it can bounce around 2880, not in this area. So I'm not going to touch anything. It's a sell on rise. Amazon is super weak. If it opens above 3000, I'll see a bounce in it, and then I would like to sell this. This is really serious on Amazon. It has been a failure in last 2 years. And on the weekly candles, you see all the way from 3700 is trading at now 3000. That's almost 20%, almost 20%. And it is also making that M pattern. And this was a pattern which we saw in Moderna, which we saw in Roku, and you can see what happened to them. So if it starts to go down here, it can come down all the way to 2500. So Amazon is really sell on rise. Don't try to buy this unless you are quick. Like, you may see few points up and down, but you need to be very quick if you want to go run. I want to sell this below 3000. And my stop loss is yesterday's close. Target is 2920. 2900. 18. It is on serious downtrend. 2881. And if it holds above 33, you might see a bounce. But sell as much as you can in Amazon. Amazon is seriously downtrend. Baba and Baidu are still good. They're holding well. It's allowing its what you call EMAs to come close and hold it. It needs to break away from that 131. Yesterday we had a massive gap up, but it closed that gap around the close. Now we wanted to recapture that 132 area and start moving towards 139. So again, everything is as is. 128.46 is my stop loss. I will just update that in my sheet with Baba. 128.46. Everything else is same. Again, this will be my best pick. I'm just reducing it to 70% because they already did their targets. Baidu is in continuation of its inverted head and shoulders. So once it broke, it went up almost 165 area. And now this gap, if remains, it's going to be very positive for Baidu. So I would keep 161.49 as my stop loss now in Baidu. I'm much more positive on Chinese stocks than ever and buy near 164. If you want to keep a smaller stop loss, go for 157.57. I'm just putting two stop losses. If it goes below, buy near this area as well. This is an important area because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touch of 157.47, and then it finally broke out. So it's a good consolidation. The trend is following the positive nature. Now 171, 165 is the target. 65.50 and 171.24. Facebook, out of all the tech stocks, Facebook has been the laggard to begin with. Like even with Amazon, Facebook is down humongously. But one thing which is setting up, maybe I'm wrong, but it is setting up a massive inverted head and shoulders. Last time it found the support at 310, 312 area. If it does, it is setting for a massive move on the upper side. I am only positive on Facebook in all the tech stocks. It's a potential head and shoulders. Buy in the range 310, 315. Stop loss is 305. And target is 300 and let me take the middle, 320 and 326. If something has to bounce, Facebook will be the first one to bounce. Google has some gaps to fill. Google has the same double M pattern, and it's coming to that 26 area. And if it loses 26-27, go for short because there are gaps which needs to be filled at 2500, and then there are gaps at 2400, and then there are gaps. So I'm gonna sell it on every rise because the gap between the EMA and candle is not massive. So if it comes around 2766, that's an excellent area to go short, but that's 100 point away. So I would love to sell this around 2700 if it comes, or sell below 26-27. Google is super short. Sell below 26-27 or 2700. And target in this case will be 25.34. Stop loss is still 27.20 area. I'm using the middle and I'm using this one as my stop loss. So either sell below this, then move your stop loss, or sell around 2700 if it bounces. And 27.20 is your stop loss. Snow has lost like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's trying to consolidate better, but on the outside, it's making bigger outside candles. Like this was body, then red body, then bigger red body, then massive big red body. They're covering the previous bodies, so it's creating massive outside red. Let me check on the volume as well here, how the volume is behaving. If the volume is increasing, then it's not looking, but the volume is decreasing here. So I still have some hope for snow. This volume is like 2 million, 2.8, 3.8. So it's definitely price action is definitely going down, but it's not following up with some massive volume. So I'm going to keep my neutral instant because on the weekly, it's still making a beautiful cup and handle. It's still there. It has not broken that. It will break it right here. That's the area where we start the candle. So it's right there on that area for the handle. If it loses this, then the game is over. But last time it came to 273. So 273, I'm going to make it neutral. 273 is the stop loss and buy near 275, 279 area. And 286 and 298. 286, 298. I'm still neutral. Shopify has shown the reality in the market. It's the same M pattern coming to the bottom. 994 is the final stopping point for Shopify. It has fallen enough, uh, but all these companies went up because of the Fed money. So Shopify, you want to buy, you want to sell, it's a choice because it has fallen so much in last 2 months. Like in November, it was 1762. Now it's 1000, almost 40% loss. And a company with such a massive market capital, if you have losses like this, then there's something really serious about the economy and these stocks. So 994, if it loses this, there's no stopping here for Shopify. It will just go down and down and down. Last time it had a support at 1005. It's trading right there. So if it has already lost that 61.8 Fibonacci, usually a loss of 61.8 comes towards 23. That is about 913. So there's a possibility if it comes above 1030, you can go short here, or if it holds 1030, you can go long. Looking at the market, I don't know what's going to happen with Shopify. I'm just saying sell below 994. 1030 as a stop loss, target is 913. 913. If you want to go high, move above 1030. If it stays above 1030, you can go higher or bullish on this. Nvidia, like people were crazy about Nvidia a month back. In November, it was 346. Now it's 337. It is filling all the gaps. And that's the thing, that no matter what, if there are gaps, they will be filled. 233 is the gap fill. I would love to take a chance here with 233.50 as my stop loss and buy near 236, 237. I'm just playing for a gap fill, and there's a gap between the candles and the EMAs and the gap fill. So there's a possibility we may see some level of bounce on Nvidia. Targets, like the EM is at 267. So we are not going to have a massive move to 267, but to the middle of this candle and the previous selling area of 252. So 248 and 252. That's the max. If it loses 233, it can come down drastically to 218, where all this started. There's a small gap there at 207 and 219, 212. So keep an eye. If it loses 233, you have to go short, and this will be quick short. Then in my list, I have Tesla. Tesla is the second most company where we are seeing inverted head and shoulders like Facebook. It's still setting up for that, but the trend is negative. It's holding on to that area. So if it loses that 990 area, it will come down to 929. It's still setting up for that move. Maybe earnings next week can do some magic to it. But if it loses that 990 area, it's going to come down to 920. So I am not playing for earnings as of now. I am thinking if market loses 994 or 990 practically. Go short, otherwise buy near 1000 for a bounce. If it comes to 1000, play for the bounce, and 1040 is max I'm looking for. If it loses 990, just go short, and target is 929. So all these stop losses, if you hit them or the market hits them, you can reverse the direction, because I cannot put all that information on the both sides. This breaks down, you go short. AMD has same M pattern. Now it's coming to an important area of 118.60, where it was forming a base, and it's a regression channel trend line as well. So this is the make or break point for AMD. I would love to buy this at 118.60 area if it does. Otherwise, below this, it's a clear sell. I'm not selling it right now because it's already in that zone. 119, 120 area. It's a very small area. Target is 124, 130. Microsoft has been holding that 300 area on a very serious note. If it loses that 300, a day back we were going short at 310. Yesterday we went long at 303 for 310. It came and is getting rejected again and again. So if it loses this 298.86, I'll be super short on Microsoft. I am short on Microsoft. Sell below 298.86. Stop loss is this. Target is 291 and 287. Now, if a market has to move down, Microsoft and Apple have to contribute on the downside. They've been holding on a serious note since last few days. So they need to go down really big to increase because all the other stocks, they're already down like 30-40% from the tops, but Microsoft and Apple are still better off as compared to others. Netflix, there's no trade in Netflix. It was a massive disaster. Roku, same with Roku. Netflix earnings, it broke down. It's trading at 159. That was the low of the previous down move. Consolidation and down move can further, like this is a clear M pattern, which I was talking about. These are the patterns which we are seeing in many stocks, a clear M pattern. It can go down to 145, but it's already down about $10 in the market. So there's no trade in it. I'm not including it. It can further go down. You can sell it on the rise. Affirm, yesterday it had the news of Peton, and then it was looking seriously good in the morning. It came all the way to 68 area of Fibonacci and then fell. Tested the 59.44, that's a 23 area of Fibonacci, and bounced. Right now it's trading at 63. So I would love to buy this at 63. It has done almost everything on the books from 167, 176 to 59. That's the move. It has seen almost a 50-60% drop. If it has to bounce, it should bounce now. 69.73. Yep. Again, the market is very tricky. If you don't want to trade, don't trade it. UPST yesterday was really good. I had a call and it tested exactly the 12 EMA and making a hammer. So I'm still going the same way. I'm still positive on UPST and everything is same. So that's my views for today. I am not totally jumping into the market. If I do not have to trade, I will not trade. Let me be honest. I am not inclined to trade unless I have clarity. I am more focused on the Chinese tickers because they are completely independent of the US market and they have been decimated in the last 1.5 years. So that's about it. Disney. Uh, Disney is also making lower low, lower high outside outside bearish candle, bullish, like bearish engulfing, you can say. And again, it's the same pattern. The M, it might come down to 141. It's already at 141, sorry. So it might come down and fill this gap. The trend is really negative now on this company. Anyone else has anything? UNH, United Healthcare, that's also at a very important level of this regression channel. If it loses this area, the trend is totally negative. If it loses this area, it's inside day on UNH. If you lose 461, you need to go short or you need to go long above 470 for UNH. IWM has been done, like in the same set. We have the consolidation and we are now following out of that consolidation. It tried to break out but failed. So from 244 now it's trading at 199. That's a massive 20% cut on an index. And it's coming to fill this gap. There's a gap right there at 197. If it somehow tests that 197, 197.62, it may bounce. If it holds that gap, then still there's a hope that yes, market may give it a go ahead on the positive side. MACD is trading at 253, right? It got rejected from 270 area right from the Fibonacci, could not cross the 78. It's coming towards 38. Now 38 is an important Fibonacci level. If it doesn't stick here, it will come down to 246. If it sticks here, it can go back to 263. Pan W. I only have few minutes before I start my office. So I'm just going to wrap up quickly. Pan W is, again, it came down to the regression channel and then bounced from it. Now it's making a hammer on the top, which is not a good sign usually. At the bottom, hammers is still fine, but not at the top. So it shows the trend can further change from here because the trend started from here, 486. If it loses this area 409, you can go short on this. 509, sir, on Pan W. TDD, all these stocks are going to go down because they have been facing serious challenges regarding to the evaluations. TDD had inverted head and shoulders right here. It bounced and broke up. Now it's coming to that 65 area. If it loses 65, then it's going to be serious downtrend for TTD. So 65.32 is an important area for TTD. Big C yesterday was up 10% and then lost again. It's almost like out of all the areas. Now, Big C is more on consumer sentiment and consumer spending. Right now, consumer spending is at the lowest of its values. So I will not touch this company unless and until I have some strength in the economy. It may consolidate here and slowly and steadily go down. Uber, same thing. They are consumer dependent stocks. If consumer are not spending and it's coming at them, you see, this was March of 2020. This regression channel was tested at 13. Now the same regression channel is getting tested here. If it loses this, it can come down well below 28. Uber. If it holds 38, still there is a hope, but if it loses this area, it's done. All right, guys, I need to go back to my office. I'll post this information and all the very best if you're trading today. I'm on the back seat. I will only pick up if